All right, you're welcome back from that break. This is Newsfile. Would like to hear your views. We're looking at the latest development from the Woyome matter and all the issues arising. As far as we understand, Alfred Agbeshi Woyome is in the grips of the police CID. He was arrested yesterday afternoon and remains there. There's been some developments, though, following his arrest. First, there were women who said they were supporters or well-wishers of Mr. Woyome who besieged the premises of the CID. We're told that 5 of them were grabbed and thrown into police cell, but subsequently they have been released. Let's hear them.
We should stand here. We can't stand. Hey, we can't come to police station again. Hey, we are not telling you don't come to police station.
You don't come here to disturb anybody. Get out.
You don't know what is happening at the top. Don't me. We want to be.
All right, so obviously a very chaotic situation there for the police to handle, but eventually they got a handle of it, arrested 5 of them, subsequently released them for obstructing justice. With the announcement and the breaking news of the arrest of Woyome came reactions. Let's hear what the NPP's party chairman said. We're told, for instance, that Mr. Jacob Bichibilamti said that, well, this is a good start, but he believes there are bigger fish that need to also be accosted. Also, the NPP's General Secretary, Kwejo Owusu Efriye, or Sir John as he's known, also gave his reaction. All right, we're going to continue because I'm told that we don't have that audio readily. But Deputy Information Minister, if you're wondering what's going to happen next, Sam Okujeto Ablakwa makes us understand that this is the first in a series of actions that the President expects to be taking following the release of the Yoko report. Let's hear him.
Yesterday, when President Mills received the Yoko report, he did indicate that he has asked the Attorney General to study the report and advise. He also assured the nation that he will act swiftly after the advice and after he is convinced on how to proceed in this whole Woyome affair. It is important to establish that what is being unveiled before us now is the beginning of series of actions which the President has outlined to be carried out in this matter. And his objective is to ensure that the national interest is served, is to ensure that whoever is in wrong possession of monies belonging to the state of Ghana, that person is dealt with according to law, and as much as possible, retrievals are made so that the state of Ghana can get its money back, and we can also be looking at possible prosecutions in this matter. So the series of actions which the President has outlined, and this is just the beginning.
All right, so that was Deputy Information Minister Sam Okujeto Ablakwa. Let's meet our panelists. We'll bring you some more reactions and obviously take the reactions right here around the table on Newsfile. I'll start from my left. We've got Mike Okwe Jr. He's the Deputy Secretary for the NPP in the Greater Accra region. He's also a lawyer, so I'm sure he'll bring some legal perspective to this discussion. Also in the studios with us, we have the Deputy General Secretary of the ruling NDC, Mr. Kofi Adams. My apologies. I was thinking about introducing you as well as a spokesperson for Mr. Rawlings because I have a few questions about how he's feeling and what he's been saying since all these developments. Also in the studios, Abdul Malik Kweku Baku Jr., Managing Editor of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, our regular panelist. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Mike. I know that the NPP had been agitating for some concrete action to be taken was the arrest of Alfred Wayman one of the expected outcomes that you had from this Yoko report?
Thank you very much, Matilda, and also a very good morning to your very cherished listeners and viewers. I'd like to start by looking at the Yoko report angle,
sure,
which you mentioned. And for lack of time, I'll just go straight to the meat of the matter as I see it. First of all, in my humble opinion, Yoko was the wrong body to look at the matter that the Auditor General had raised. Fact. And there are certain things that have developed that have surprised me. First of all, the fact that some people are saying that the Yoko report brought out all sorts of good things and so on. Yes, it did. But for me, the meat of the matter was already, as Yoko report said, in the Attorney General's file. The meat of the matter is in the amended statement. And in my humble opinion, what I'm beginning to see succinctly being done in this Yoko report is a complete damage limitation. So, in my humble opinion, the Yoko report suggests damage limitation. Why am I saying that? First of all, let us see the new thing that the Yoko report brought out that we've not heard of.
Okay.
That is the amount of money paid to the state attorney. Is wrong. It's criminal.
The state attorney's wife.
The state attorney's wife, and therefore, by extension, on behalf of the state attorney.
Sure.
Okay. This money was paid from Mr. Williams' account. I do not believe, and it's wrong, let's condemn him. What he's done is wrong, he has to face. But I do not believe that when they looked at Mr. Williams' account, that was the only money they saw paid out. So why have they only mentioned the state attorney and not mentioned the other people who have received monies from Mr. Woyome with regard to this issue and their involvement?
Are there other people you're aware of who have not been named?
I say with time, it all comes out. Okay. But for me, it is a whitewash to just bring only one name, because one name we know is not enough. And so it looks like there's an attempt to shift the blame to the civil service and absolve the people who are involved, the various ministerial departments, and even the other people who are in there as well. Let us even go further and ask. Now, if we're looking at this judgment debt as a whole, how come under the NDC, judgment debt for the first time under 2010 budget was listed on its own in terms of payment? Are we aware that under the NDC, over 600 million has been paid judgment debt in just 3 years? And in previous budgets, even under the NDC, they had, and even the recent one that was read, they didn't have judgment debt listed. They had contingencies, because we all know that when it comes to insurance of, for example, state vehicles, they don't take insurance. For example, judgment debts, we don't know who may or may not have an issue with the state. Those are under contingencies. But because they wanted to justify what I would say the kululu that was going on, they provided particularly judgment debts written under the budget. And for me, that already makes me begin to ask certain questions. Now, Mr. Okujeto Ablakwa has done us a very big favor by coming out and telling us that the president is somebody who has outlined this whole process of how the arrests are going to take place and everything. So now we are going to ask a few things about the president with regard to this issue. Because you see, my problem is that even though Mr. Woyome has committed a crime, there are certain people who we voted for and we take care of with the taxpayers' money. And so those people must be held accountable to Ghanaians, both at the election and also during term of office. And so let us look at President Mills's role in this whole issue, because we are told that he instructed that all of these things should be done. In fact, even the arrest and all of it, he is in charge of that. Okay. The first thing the president himself did, as we heard, was that he instructed that the AG should not pay the money. That is before the pre-trial conference. According to Yoko report.
Sure.
Okay. And then he gave an order that they should not pay the money. Really? Okay, let us read from here. it says, the Honorable AG reverted to the Honorable Minister on 29th April with explanation that Mr. Woyome's claim was so and so.
This is also from the Yoko
report.
report.
We are looking at page 11.
Great.
So, we go on further. It says, at this stage, the Honorable Minister ordered payment, and the process for payment was initiated. However, when the instruction to pay got to the Bank of Ghana, and before Bank of Ghana could effect payment, His Excellency, the President, intervened and ordered the Ministry of Finance not to effect payment. Bravo. President Mills did that. 29th. Okay. Please, Ghanaians, those who have this thing, let them turn to page 15 of this same Yoko report. Page 15. When you look at the bottom, number 5, it says payments with respect to abrogation of contract. Alfred Agbesi Woyome, the first 17 million. What is the date?
February 2010.
Okay. And the president ordered the stopping of the payment after April 29th. That is, when this got to the president, His Excellency stopped it. His Excellency, after 29th April, when the money had already been paid to him, according to Yoko, February 2010, ordered the payment to be stopped. Which payment? The one that had been already paid?
Is it possible?
No. Let's not go to possible. Let us look at the. No.
I'm just asking you.
No. I'm not going to allow that possibility.
I'm
because
sorry.
you see, Matilda, I don't want to go. This is the Yoko report, and I want to say what is here. They say after the 29th, and after all of this, His Excellency, 29th April 2010, His Excellency ordered the payment to be stopped. First one. We are going to the second one.
Okay.
And they are telling us that.
Can I ask you a quick
question?
question?
Let me land on this one.
Okay, please.
They are telling us that on February 2010, the first money was paid, 17,094,000, blah, blah, blah.
Which means the money had been paid before the president's intervention.
Ordered it to stop.
Very well.
So therefore, where is the... You see, let me tell you one thing about inconsistency in law.
Now, can I ask you my question?
Let me just land on this point.
Sure.
Inconsistency in law, you know, you can never cover all the tracks. And that's why in law, when lawyers want to be polite to you and don't want to say you are telling a lie or you are telling porkies, they say your story is inconsistent. It's a way of showing that it does not follow.
Okay. Is it possible that the president's attention may have only been drawn to this at this point in time?
Well, they say...
April, even though
wait, when it got to the BOG, before they could effect payment, this is a Yoko report, I'm not saying it.
Sure.
Yes. So I'm trying to say the chronology does not flow.
Very well.
And therefore, it is inconsistent.
Okay.
And the inconsistency... Oh, if you are now coming in later, you need some help. Let me help you. Look at page 11 in conjunction with 15. And in any case, you have not been introduced yet, so you keep quiet.
Okay, so the gentleman you're hearing in the background is Mr. David Annan.
You can't interfere. Anyway, going on to the serious issue. Now, the president, intervened and ordered that they should not effect payment. Listen, in accordance with the president's instruction, the Ministry of Finance in turn issued instructions and the payment was stopped. How?
Okay.
How can you tell us such a story? Such a story that does not follow. And they thought Ghanaians won't read this report? It's on my joy online. Ghanaians, go and take it. Look at page 11 and look at page 15 and see the inconsistency of this report and see the attempt to try to bring the president into a very favorable, nice light so that as for somebody else, he is the one who went to take bribe and so on. But in Mr. Williams' account, he's the only person we saw pay money. Is that what they are telling us here today? I'm asking, is that what we are being told here today? This cannot be the case. Before I even come back to the Yoko report, let us look at even again another chronology as to how the president was involved in this Woyome matter. First of all, the president told us on Radio Gold that his aim was not to embarrass anybody. That is a nice thing. And that they were going to look at the liability. Secondly, he told us that he wanted to know the facts, so he's giving it to Yoko. We all remember Yoko came and told us they are not a fact finding. Okay? I'll just stop there first before I go to the second one. If the president was not aware of the facts and he needed Yoko to give him the facts, how come the president was stopping payment after the 29th of April in 2010, almost a year and a half ago? On what basis and on what facts did the president order that the payment should not be made? Because if you say you are not aware of something, how can you go and stop it? You must have been briefed. You must have been aware.